At first, he says, be angry and do not sin. A lot of people like to see just the first two words, be angry. See, God says I can be angry. In actual fact, in the Greek, he is actually saying that. This is a positive command. Be angry, but do not sin. You cannot separate those. Paul is saying that there are times when we can be angry. We can be angry at things that happen to us. We can even be angry at people. However, he quickly adds that anger should never lead to sin. And there's the problem. How do you get angry without sinning? Because naturally, anger leads to sin and sinful actions. So how can we express or be angry but not sin? Well, the first thing we have to remember what we've already learned about words. Sometimes anger leads to words. In fact, a lot of times anger leads to words that are sinful. So that's the first thing we have to be paying attention to. In the original, this Greek word means to be exasperated or enraged. Exasperated or enraged. I felt that this week with my computer. I seriously believe that Microsoft is a tool of the devil. It absolutely is. And just when you have got over the last update and your sanctification is again rolling in the right direction, here comes another update. And you're right back where you started. I do believe that. And I experienced it again this week. How do you get angry with something? How do you get exasperated and enraged but not sin? Well, there are things that anger us, but our response to them does not have to be sinful. You hear that? There are things that anger us, but our response does not have to be sinful. I can be enraged and exasperated at my computer, but once I start wanting to do something violent, like chuck it out the window, or say something that's unedifying to it, even though it doesn't understand me, then I have strayed into it being sinful. I can be enraged or exasperated at the traffic. But once I start thinking evil thoughts about the other drivers, or start acting out on my anger, I have strayed into sin. Now you might think, well, how do you do that? And honestly, I don't have all of the answers to that, because this is one of my biggest battles in life. How do I not sin even though things exasperate me? Do I just say, oh, I'm just not going to get exasperated by those anymore? Well, that's not going to happen. I'm going to get exasperated. Paul says you can do that, but you don't have to sin. You don't have to allow that to take you places where you now have to repent and ask God to forgive you because of what you just thought or said or did. I can be exasperated or enraged at things that are going on in the world. But if I allow them to shape my thinking or my thoughts so that now I want to do something sinful about it, then I have allowed my anger to take me somewhere that I should not go. Jesus was enraged at times, and his actions could even be classified as violent, but they were never sinful. It wasn't sinful for him to send demons into a herd of pigs knowing that they would throw themselves off a cliff. It wasn't sinful for him to flip the tables in the temple and go after people with a whip, because that was godly justice, the result of anger. We need to pay close attention to our angry moments. What are they encouraging us to do? Are those responses to that anger sinful? Then we need to repent of them. We need to ask God to help us to put that off so that we can handle these exasperating moments in a godly and gracious way.